Hello, I am Meg Elphick and welcome to the FEI channels. In this series, in partnership with Agria, I have the pleasure of visiting some top professional yards around the country and getting a sneaky look behind the scenes and seeing their commitment of care for their horses. Today is another truly inspiring rider. She's an OBE, she has more medals than she knows what to do with, and she's also inspired a generation of para riders. So, let's go and find her. Hello!
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm very well, how are you?
Great to see you.
Good to see you too.
How's things?
Very good. All the better for being here. I'm very excited.
We're excited too.
Yeah, it should be a great one. I hear that we have got some grooming expertise coming out later.
My mum is exceptional.
Good stuff. And we get to meet lovely Lottie.
She's actually just coming in from the field. Would you like to meet her now?
Yes, please.
Come on in.
Let's go.
This is Lottie, otherwise known as Keystone Dawn Chorus. She is 13 years old and born and bred actually in the UK. She's British bred Hanoverian by DiMaggio. About 16, 1.5.
Yeah.
And she's just, oh, she is. I know I'm biased.
No, she is gorgeous.
I'm so lucky. I do call her Mary Poppins because she is just practically perfect in every way. I'm incredibly lucky to get to ride her and have her, because she's not just a sports horse for me, she's a pet too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very, very lucky to be able to have her.
So we need to talk about some accolades.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you're being very modest. You've achieved so much with Lottie. You've done 2 Olympic Games with her.
2 Paralympics, yeah. So we did Tokyo in 2021 where she won 2 individual silvers and a team gold. And then we've just got back from Paris where we won 2 individual bronzes. And then she also went to the World Championships in 2022 and won an individual silver and an individual bronze. She loves performing. Like, I think Paris really showed her at her best because there was such an amazing crowd and she just really went into that arena and was like, look at me.
The stage was just amazing there.
Oh, so
did you have
unreal.
that kind of heart skip moment when you first rode out?
A little bit. It was very similar to London 2012 in the arena setup, having the beautiful backdrop and the way that it was like a horseshoe shape of spectators. And we came in and then you could just see the palace in the distance and then all of these people surrounding you in the stands, and it was just so, so wonderful. She loves a chin scratch and she loves a behind the ear scratch, don't you? But she's just such a joy to be around in every way. She really, really is. And like all of the team just love her being in the stables because she's just, yeah, she's really low maintenance, which is lovely.
Does she cope quite well with like the travelling and the settling? And
yeah, she does. Actually, Tokyo was her first ever time out of the UK.
I can't believe that.
We got her
a place to go. That's quite cool.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, we got her in 2019 and she was 8, and then we had plans to take her abroad to compete, but then obviously COVID.
Yeah.
And so we couldn't go anywhere. And so yeah, literally I had to wave her off from prep camp, and off she went to Amsterdam and then flew out from Amsterdam.
So nerve-wracking not knowing and like how she was going to be when she was there.
I literally bawled my eyes out because I'd never left her. And obviously she was so well taken care of. All of the team grooms were out there, and then my mum actually flew out ahead so that she would be able to meet her when she got to
like friendly, familiar face.
Exactly, when she got to the stables out there. So that was really lovely. But yeah, she just took it. And that's the thing with Lottie, she just takes everything in her stride. She'll be the only one in a stable block when we get to a show, and she's absolutely fine. Like she's the dream.
What an absolute legend. Okay, well, speaking of shows,
yes,
can we get some of these tippity top plaiting tips?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, mum's your lady for that.
Okay, right, where's mum? That's my mum.
Come on, mum.
Okay, so plaiting tutorial time. Is this normally the setup? Would you be holding mum's plaiting, or are you getting in your headspace? Or?
I'm normally not really around because if I'm around, Lottie gets a bit distracted. So
I mean, a nice still horse. Okay.
But yeah, I'm normally getting the lorry packed, or doing something else generally. Or if we're at an away show, I'm normally in the horse box, you know, putting my boots on, getting myself dressed and ready, and Mum kind of likes...
in the space.
Yeah, I think you kind of enjoy being on your own, don't you, when you're doing it?
So dressage plaits.
Yeah.
Bigger and puffier. Is that what we're going for?
Generally, yeah. I think in dressage, the trends have changed. I can remember a time when the plaits used to be on top of the mane and like white bands around them. That was a long time ago.
Like the old
wasn't
long
it?
time ago. Yeah.
So I think Mum, bless her, has had to change her style of plaits over the years, but now it's very much about the bigger plait. But I think it's just to show the neck off to its best, and I think with bigger plaits it shows the strength of the neck, and it shows their beautiful frame that they're working in as well.
Yeah.
Lottie has quite a fine mane, and so it's really quite difficult to get the size plaits like what we think of as the stallion plaits, which are the really big plaits. I try to go for ponytails first of all the way down, so
and
I work out.
Can I see?
Yeah,
okay.
So ponytails first, all the way down, so you get the number of plaits you want. Then I just use water. Lots of people use sticky sprays and things, but I just tend to use water. The aim is to try and get this part of the plait as tight as you possibly can, because then the plait will hold better. I use a band at the bottom, some people sew, and then I will roll the plait up like so. Squeeze it together, and then I have a pre-prepared needle and thread. I used to be very whizzy. Now I just make sure that I allow plenty of time, and that would be my advice, to be honest, to anybody that's plaiting, is just make sure that you allow enough time. And then I just do a little loop through the top there, feed that through there, and pull. And then I've got my scissors in my pinny. I find wearing a pinny is great, because then you can have all your bits and pieces that you need all to hand. And as Natasha said earlier, she isn't usually around. I'm normally doing it on my own, and we're nice and quiet. And Lottie generally nods off and falls asleep. And it's just a bit of me and her time, and it's actually really nice.
Love it.
Nice preparation time. So as I say, I think my tips for plaiting is to allow yourself plenty of time. Try to get up off of the ground so that you're working at a good height. I prefer to work down on my plaits. Do the ponytails first, so you know exactly how many you're going to have, and then do the plait itself as tight as you possibly can. That's the key, is getting the plait tight, particularly when you get down to the end here, where generally the mane is even finer. So again, trying to do those really tight does help.
Okay.
And I never leave my plaits in overnight.
No.
No matter what time it is in the morning, I always plait in the morning. So I don't like leaving plaits in overnight. So there we go.
Learning from the pro.
Normally I would get the mane all pulled, and I'd usually be.
Mum's a
perfectionist.
Yes, yeah.
Kind of have to be for turnout, don't you?
You do. I think that comes from your showing background.
Yes,
Yeah. I always have pretty ponies because Mum always does such a good job. So we do actually keep her tail plaited in a really loose plait when she goes out in the field, because it gets so muddy when she's out. It's then really difficult to groom, and we end up pulling so much out. So we keep it plaited in a really loose plait, and then it keeps it nice and shiny and soft and clean. Most importantly, we get to keep a nice full tail too.
So I've come in for a quick cuppa in front of your wall of fame, which is amazing.
Thank you.
So many rosettes.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a collection of some of my best rosettes, I guess, not like
favourites.
What I love though is this one here. Was my first ever sash that I won when I was part of the RDA when I was 10 years old. And then above is my first ever championship in 2011.
Wow. And then if we go over here,
all the Paralympic ones.
Like, How cool is that? That must make you feel a bit like, that's wild that you've got your sash from when you were 10.
Yeah.
And then you've got your Paralympic ones over here.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like I've won all of those. Like, it still feels so surreal. And even when I watch back on videos from like London 2012, even Paris a couple of months ago, like I'm like, did I really do that?
Really?
Is that really me? Like, it's bizarre, really, really bizarre. It's like an out of body experience.
Yeah. But you've achieved so much. It is amazing. Your career is insane. Like it's so cool. And
I'm very lucky. And I can't do it if it wasn't for the team that is behind me. Like, I'm sitting on a horse for 5 minutes in an arena riding my test, but there's so much that goes into it behind the scenes, and I don't think those people get enough credit. Like, my mum and Lisa, my trainer, I just simply couldn't do it without them. But then there's everybody else, like the horse physios, my physios, the nutritionists, the vets, and just everything.
It's a whole village, isn't it?
It really is a whole village. And I think even more for para, because we have our disabilities to contend with as well. So, you know, the chiropractor and the physio have an even bigger job. And also for her, because I'm doing sitting trot all of the time, you know, we get the physio out to see her every 6 weeks just to make sure that she's really soft and really supple over the back, and that she's handling what I'm asking her to do.
Well, I'm excited because I'm going to see you ride in a
Yes.
bit, aren't we? That's going to be epic. But what have we got here? Come on.
This is my latest medal. So this was my individual medal from Paris. My bronze.
I need to like. Oh my god, it's so
heavy.
heavy. Yikes! I wasn't expecting that.
You know when you've got it round your neck?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
God, the neck ache.
Yeah.
After a ceremony.
I had to do a photo shoot with all of my London and all of my Rio medals around my neck, so 5. And oh my god, I had to see the physio the next day.
Yeah, I bet.
It's a good problem to have. I am not moaning.
Is there going to be a photo shoot with all 10 Paralympic
I'm not sure I
medals
can
one
do
day?
that. I'm not sure.
Come on, for the people.
For the people.
For the people. Is it true that there's a bit of the Eiffel Tower in the medals?
You're touching it right now. Yeah. So when the Eiffel Tower got refurbished, some of the old bits of the Eiffel Tower were made for that bit. So in all of the Olympics and all of the Paralympic medals, we've got our own little bit of Paris, which is epic.
Isn't it amazing?
So cool. And then the back is like you're looking up the Eiffel Tower.
Oh yeah. I mean, not that I've ever looked up the Eiffel Tower,
Me neither.
but I can see it now.
Each medal is so unique and so different, and very, very special.
They're really beautiful, aren't they?
They are. Yeah, they did a good job. Whoever designed them, well done.
Yeah. The whole stay away shows, I've never ever travelled a horse internationally because I've had no need. How does it compare, and how do you sort of keep the horses happy along that process? Because it is different to the one days, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Like a one day is easy, you know, get up, go to the show, come back the next day, and then they're back into their normal routine. But going away, obviously you've got the travel as well. So we like to take that in breaks as and when we can.
Yeah.
So obviously to Paris was a relatively short trip compared to the likes of Rio and Tokyo. So obviously they flew out to Rio and Tokyo, and neither of my horses had really done that many flights before. Lottie had done none, but she seemed really, really happy through it, and didn't seem phased when we got there, and settled in really, really quickly to the stables in Tokyo. But obviously Paris was a whole lot easier because
so much closer.
Yeah, so much closer. They travelled by Eurostar,
fancy.
Very fancy, in a beautiful horse box. So she travelled first class, as she should, and then got there the day before they were going into stables. Had a rest in the overnight stables, so all they had to do was an hour before they got to the stables in Paris. Paris.
Yeah.
And then when we're there, we do loads of hand grazing, loads of hand walking. It's really, really important to get them out of the stable, stretching their legs, letting them have the grass, and just trying to keep their routine as similar as possible. Try and feed at a similar time, and we make sure that all of the horses are fed at the same time. So we had a team of 4 horses in Paris, so all of them were fed their breakfast, lunch and dinner all at the same time. And yeah, just trying to keep their routine the same. They had a great hacking track there, and she hacked. So yeah, she had a lovely time walking up the canter
that must
track.
have been so nice.
Yeah, you know, they get to arena familiarised as well, so it wasn't like we were going in for the first time into that amazing arena when they hadn't seen it before. Obviously, they hadn't seen the crowds there, but they had seen it was so beautifully dressed, and so they felt,
wasn't it, all the flowers.
Yeah, it was so stunning. I think probably the most beautiful arena I've ever ridden in.
There we go.
It was really, really stunning. And you know, they got to go in there 3 times before.
Perfect.
And what's really lovely about Para as well is in my grade you can have a friendly horse, so they can have another horse in the arena with them. So if they're feeling a little bit nervous,
friendly horse.
yeah, it's really lovely.
Job
I mean, she's right on your CV.
Yeah, that's what I want to be.
And yeah, she doesn't need it because she's super confident, but I've had horses in the past, especially a young horse in their first time at championships, you know, they get to have a little mate in there with
their
them.
friends, don't they? And then they're expected to go into the arena.
Yeah, we had it in
nice.
Rio actually with my old horse because he was a bit of a scaredy cat. So JP had Zion, who was Lee's horse. He had Zion in there with him, and it just makes them breathe and settle, and yeah. So just try and keep them as relaxed and as happy as possible.
Yeah. No, I think that's so important. Isn't it? Like, they're such routine animals.
They are.
So if we can keep as much the same.
Yeah, and of course we're
them a
still around
chance.
them. Like, you know, I'm there every day. My mum's there every day. My mum is my groom, so she was plaiting her up. So everything stayed as similar as it normally is as possible.
Apart
and
from the
then
view of the palace.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not every day you get to compete in the garden of Versailles, is it?
Yeah, exactly. Wow. We've now got a treat. So she's been on holiday, has she?
She's been on holiday, yeah, so she had 2 weeks completely off, and then I hacked her out for a couple of weeks. I've only actually schooled her 3 times since Paris, so she's had a really nice break.
Today we get to have a little sneaky preview of what your winter training is going to look like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. Should we go get tacked up?
Let's get tacked up.
Let's go.
So does she always start with the in-hand work?
Yes. So normally when my trainer comes, Lisa would normally ride her before me because I struggle doing the long and low stretching work because she's so bouncy.
Yeah.
And I need the stability. So Lisa gets on and does that. But even before Lisa gets on, Mum always does a little bit of groundwork just to get her really nice and soft and supple through her body.
Yeah.
And then, Lisa gets on and does the work. And Mum normally does quite a bit more groundwork when it's just me getting straight on, just because I can't do that stretching to warm her up.
So what's this then?
We're just having a stretch. So my legs are really, really tight all the time, which is effectively what enables me to walk. Because it keeps me upright. But because I have so much tone in my muscles in my legs, when I get on, they can be quite tight. And so if Mum just stretches my leg, it enables me to get into the saddle a little bit quicker, which is super helpful because otherwise I'm like...
Which is great for dressage.
Yeah, exactly. She's nice and supple, but Mum isn't. That's the thing with Para, like, we're all so different. And we all have different disabilities to contend with, different issues within our disability. And so, you know, that's why these guys are worth their weight in gold, because they have to adapt to what we need. Some people think that Para horses have to kind of be a little bit like plods. But actually they have to be the total opposite. They have to have a natural engine and want to go forward, because we can't make them go forward. They've got to want to do their job. It's an art, isn't it, Lottie? We read each other's minds.
Yeah.
Hey. She's the first horse that I felt confident enough to hack and canter in a field. I've always hacked my horses, but just in walk, and then the grooms have always done the, you know, the harder work, cantering and doing stuff. But she's the one that I can take down the field and have a good canter because she's so good, she's so well behaved, and I know she'll really look after me.
So you were saying earlier she's had a bit of a holiday.
Yes, she's had a bit of a break.
Yeah. Is that something you've always done with your horses? Do they always have like the rest periods?
Yeah, so JP, who was my London and Rio horse, he loved a holiday. And he, after London, he pretty much had 4 months in a field, didn't he? He had a really, really long holiday, but he'd worked fairly hard for, you know, 2011, 2012. So he really deserved a nice long break, and then he came back for the Europeans the year after. She has about 2-3 weeks normally, and then she's ready to get back into work. She's one that really thrives on working, and so she only likes being out in the field for a couple of weeks, and then she gets a little bit saucy, and she says, no mummy, I want to start doing my job again. So we hacked her for a couple of weeks, and as I say, yeah, this is the 3rd time I've been back on her in the school. So it's just, the thing is, because she loves her work so much, she just steps it straight back up. And I think the holiday's actually done her brain and her body the world of good, because she's come back feeling amazing. Like, it's the same as us, isn't it? We need to go on holiday to have a bit of a reset, and they like that too.
So have you got a busy winter season planned with her?
No, I haven't actually got another competition planned. Our season doesn't really pick up until the springtime. My body's not great over the winter, so I really, really struggle with the cold, wet weather. So I try to plan as little over the winter as possible, and then come out when the weather's nicer. I hibernate. But it's our time to go out hacking, to do a little bit of schoolwork just to keep her ticking over. She loves doing pole work as well. She's not a natural jumper, but she loves doing pole work, and we keep her work really, really varied, so she really enjoys it and feels good in her body. And we do lots of groundwork as well, so we might just come out here and do a groundwork session with my mum, and I can do it on my scooter as well. You know, do all of the lateral work in hand, and do work with some of the flags and things like that, and she seems to really like doing those things as well.
That was really, really special. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, it's been like amazing, and watching you guys together, your partnership, is just beautiful. Like, you're such a gorgeous picture going around, and it's been really special to actually see her in the flesh.
Oh, that's
I have
so
been
kind.
a bit of a fangirl and watched all your tests. So.
Thank you very much. I'm very lucky to ride such a special horse.
She is gorgeous, gorgeous girl. Well, we will let you get on, but thank you so much for letting us come and have a little snoop around the yard. A big thank you to Agria as well, and do stay tuned on the FEI channels because there is so much more to come.